Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 35th tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we're going to see how we can pass in variables as arguments to functions in PHP. So in the last tutorial we created a function called par, and we saw that we can pass in numeric values to functions, and in that function we passed in 3 ones, we passed in 2 ones, so we could have passed in any number actually. But it's not that you can only pass in numeric values, you can pass in string values as well, and you don't have to actually type in those values. Those values could be contained in variables, and you could just type in the names of those variables within the argument list when you call the function, and PHP would accept those variable contents, right? So I hope this is making sense. So anyway, let's just check out an example. So I've got a file opened up in my text editor. It's called functions2.php. On line number 7 in this file, I have created two variables. The first one's called a. I've given it the value 20. On the same line, I have created another variable called b, and this one has the value 15. So then I've created a function called math, and this function is going to accept two arguments, and I know this because I have created two dummy variables here. So the first one is called num1 and the second one is called num2, and I have separated them using the comma symbol, right? And then I have the opening curly brace for the function definition on line number 9. I have the closing curly brace on line number 13. So between these I have my function definition. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to perform some arithmetic operations on the values that this function is going to receive. So I'm going to multiply the numbers, I'm going to divide the first one by the second maybe, and I'm also going to round off that value to 2 decimal places, and then I am also going to find out when you divide the first number by the second, what is the remainder left. So I've used the modulo operator here. So let's check out these statements one by one. So the statement on line number 10 is going to perform the multiplication operation between these two numbers. So we're going to receive a value for the variable num1, and we're going to receive a value for this variable num2, and we're going to find the product of those two values, and we're going to display on screen because we use the echo statement here. Similarly, we are going to divide the value that's received in the variable num1 by the value that's received in the variable num2, and I've used a round function to round off the value, and then as I said, we're going to find out the remainder. So we're going to divide the value that's received in variable num1 by the value that's received in variable num2, and we're not going to display the quotient. Instead, we're going to display the remainder on screen, right? So I've used the modulo operator here. And then on line number 14, what I've done is I have called the math function by typing in math, but this time within the argument list I don't have two values. So I don't have 20, 15 here. Instead I have variable names. So I have $a here and I have $b here. So actually $a is going to be passed to this, and $b is going to be passed to this value. So num1 is going to take the content of the variable a, which is 20, and num2 is going to take the content of the variable b, which is 15, right? So this sort of allows you to pass values indirectly. So you can store the values that you want to pass as arguments within variables, and you could just type in variable names here, right? So I'll save this file and I'll go to my browser and show you the output. And the name of the file is functions2 if I'm not wrong, and when I press the enter key, I see that the result of multiplication is 300, the result of division is 1.33 rounded off to 2 decimal places, and the result of the modulo operation is 5, and that's because the values that were passed were 20 and 15. So 20 times 15 is 300, and 20 divided by 15 rounded off to 2 decimal places 1.33, and when you divide 20 by 15, the remainder that's left is 5, right? So that's it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial we're going to continue our discussion on functions, and I hope you guys had fun watching this tutorial, and you may subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, take care.